All right, this is Thomas from Believe in the Run. Do not adjust your screen. Yes, I'm back with Andrew from Adidas, and we are going over a shoe that I think is going to make a lot of people happy. It's a shoe that kind of got a huge update, and then they kind of are, I think we're kind of dialing it back to some of its roots.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites, the Adidas Boston, but it kind of lost me on the 10 and 11, but I think it's going to be back on the 12. Let's go through this shoe. What do we got?
Yeah, so as you said, the 10 and 11 was a major shift from where it was before. We wanted to make sure we listened to consumers, like what was the feel, what could we change, what could we make better about it. Took all that feedback, how do we improve it, came up with the 12, and luckily they nailed it, I believe.
It looks really good.
Yeah, they've made all these changes, all those little bits that you wanted to see, and they've come out, and I really applauded the team for the effort they made.
So the geometry in the 10 and 11, I get it. It kind of matched what you're going to get from the Pro, and kind of was that shoe to kind of like train in and then maybe race in the Pro.
Yeah.
Problem that I had with it, and I think a lot of consumers had with it, it was really stiff, and I use the word brick a lot, but it didn't have give. Now I'm noticing you have a top layer of the Lightstrike Pro that feels, by like just doing the finger test, feels pretty plush. You've got the Lighstrike underneath, and we've got the rods that we're used to seeing. You said it's got that pretzel configuration coming through.
Yep.
But this is where I think it's going to make the most difference. And we talked about it in the Adidas SL right underneath. You said the fat pads, which I didn't say. He said fat pads. But it looks like that's going to give you that cushioning that people want on toe off. And then you're going to get the rigidity from the carbon rods underneath. Is that what I'm looking at here?
Exactly. You kind of hit all the spots on the head there. So we made geometry changes, we made kind of material changes. Those rods you speak of, they're the exact same ones that we have in the Pro 3, you know, that record-breaking shoe, so you're going to get that snappy feel. The stiffness in which you talk about is because we used to have 5 rods in the forefoot and a stem to kind of midfoot. Then there was a carbon plate in the heel, just for a little bit of stability. Now we've gone to that rod system. We've actually dropped the mill down to 37 in the back. The rod sits just slightly lower, so the step and feel now is plush. When you get in there, because it took usually about 30 miles or so before it loosened up a bit. Yeah. Now it's going to be from the box. You see the different change. We got more Lighstrike Pro in the forefoot. You're going to get more of a pop, and hopefully, if you were size 9 and can put them on, you can really feel that curvature of the rods as you come through your strike, where you're going to get that fast feeling.
I'm a size 10 and a half, but I'm going to squeeze this. I'm going to squeeze it in just to see that. I also think it's great. I'm hoping that it works well. The Lighstrike in the heel is going to keep that stability, so if you do land further back and you're rolling through, you're going to have the stability here, that nice soft cushioning landing that you're talking about. This shoe looks really promising. It has kind of a throwback in the upper to what I would say would be more of the classic Boston look. I ran a marathon actually in the Boston a long time ago, and this one it kind of brings back memories, just the way that the upper is shaped. So it's got a callback feel to it. Anything else we need to know other than it's got Continental rubber?
Continental, as always. The Lighstrike that we use in the heel that stems in all the way through, in fact, that's the Lighstrike 2.0. So I spoke about previously, a little bit softer, a little bit lighter. Again, working on all those things to bring the weight down a little bit. This is at 9.1 ounces.
For a size 9?
And getting that nice upper, it still feels nice and fast. You're strapping it to your foot. You can race in this. Many people do. You know, when we're out in marathons, we see a lot of people wearing this shoe. It's built for training, but it's good enough to be
crossover.
Fast and
well, that's the thing. Like the Boston name you put on it, people think Boston Marathon, and a lot of times when you're doing the dress up for the Boston Marathon, this is the shoe that gets, you know, it's had the Boston logo on it, the BAA Association. So this one is going to arrive when?
This will be 6/15/2023.
All right, and what's the price?
$160.
$160. So this is more of a premium than you're looking at it, but it's still at a very affordable price for that race day shoe if you wanted to go with this instead of maybe the Pro or another shoe that we're going to show in a second. So, but you're probably going to have to wait for this one too. We're going to move on to the next one. So I don't know how many months are going to be between it, but you're going to be seeing Andrew again. So stay tuned.